Welcome to Fresh Rolled Anime, the internet's freshest anime talk show. I'm your host, Jbird. Beside me are Jake of Stardust TV.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jake. I'm from Stardust TV.
Yeah,
Some of you may have heard of me.
I'm sure they've all heard of you, Jake. And over to my right here is the wonderful Kaeli. Kaeli, how you doing today?
Great. How's it going?
I'm going great, and guys, I hope you're all...
Doing good, too.
Good.
Oh, good. Thanks. Okay, yeah. No, just kidding. We're all friends here. In fact, we're more than friends. Anyway, we're here to talk about some awesome anime. This is our new anime talk show, if you haven't figured that out yet. We're going to start off with a couple of news highlights for the past week or two. And then we're going to get going on My Hero Academia, first 12 episodes, and the second season of Attack on Titan 2, the highest profile shows of this past, 6 months. All right, so first off, with the news, first bit of news, this is just something I find really interesting, and that is LaShawn Thomas, the creator of the Boondocks and the Black Dynamite TV show, is now getting an original anime being exclusive to Crunchyroll starting probably a week ago at this point. Jake, I know you're a fan of the Boondocks, or you've watched the Boondocks, and you watch anime, so what do you think of this?
It's exciting news. I didn't know this was in the works, number one.
Yeah, I didn't know it until they kind of announced that it was coming out.
And then they just kind of just released it. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my list, certainly, in the next coming weeks to get through it.
Yeah, awesome.
Very excited. I'm a fan of Boondocks, and I'm a fan of Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
Even the anime.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty solid. Be interested to see what kind of take they go with this, because those shows are very comedy-driven.
Yes, very comedy-driven.
Comedy first, so I don't even know what this is even about.
Yeah, this
looks more serious.
Yeah, if you want, I have a synopsis here. I can read it if you want me to read it.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, you hear it? Okay.
Yeah.
It's called Children of Ether, which follows Rhonda, a woman with a dark past and a mysterious power, as she's pursued by an unknown assailant after the death of her father. Aided only by her wits and a pair of orphans, Rhonda journeys through a decaying dystopian metropolis populated by raiders, gangs, and the supernatural. As she struggles to survive in this harsh urban tangle, she meets both friends and enemies and searches for answers about this power, the ether awakening within her. So it sounds like a cool, almost like Mad Maxy-ish anime, which is always exciting. It's, to me, I think it's cool that it's being kind of spearheaded by not only an American, but an African American. So it's interesting to me that we have somebody here from the United States working with some top tier anime talent in the anime industry from Japan. People who've worked on One Punch Man, Gotcha Man Crowds, and stuff like that. And also has a female lead, which I'm sure you're excited for, aren't you, Kaeli?
Definitely.
Awesome.
We see that sometimes, but I think especially, like you said, coming from an American standpoint, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, because a lot of times in Japan, women in anime, let's just
Or
say, they're usually half naked. She's not. So this show looks really cool. There's already a teaser trailer. In fact, the first episode is probably already out.
How many episodes in this series, do you know?
I don't think there's an episode count. I know that the episodes are around 15 minutes, so they're not quite
so it's short.
full length, so it's a little shorter.
Oh, okay.
But
I wonder why that is.
Budget. Probably budget. But we'll see. Keep an eye out on that, because looks really exciting.
Yeah,
like I said, it's cool to me that somebody from the United States is following, I guess, his dream to create anime and is now working with.
Well, I'm excited for the partnership between the American production company and the Japanese production company, because Japanese anime is really popular here.
It is. It's gaining in popularity by the month.
And interested, beep, and seeing more of this kind of collaboration between American and Japanese animations.
Yeah,
and
very.
I think this is a
great start.
Good start.
Yeah, and this is already on top of the news from a couple of weeks ago that Crunchyroll will soon be producing and paying for their own anime, which is very exciting.
Are they producing in this one, or is they just?
I'm not sure if they're flat out paying for this. I haven't done that much research into it. Possibly they are. I know it's coming out first to Crunchyroll. I'm not sure if it's coming out to Netflix after that. Anyway, so do you guys have any other thoughts on that?
No, I'm good.
No? All
exciting.
Right. Yeah, it's very exciting enough. So our next big news story here is we have One Piece. I know you guys have all heard that apparently a live-action One Piece television show is coming out to America. Blew my mind when I learned this.
I remember you running around the house being like, Kaeli, do not know what I just heard.
I was very excited. I was shocked. I was floored. But besides all that, I was like, how are they going to get this done? And now it seems it's coming out now. The producer, Marty Adelstein, who was also the producer of Prison Break and Teen Wolf, has gone out and said that this show could set a new record for TV production costs. Jake, as a fan of television, what do you think of this? I mean, you are a big fan of shows like, Better Call Saul, Game of Thrones, especially with a huge, massive budget. Do you think a One Piece TV show could compete with something like that, Walking Dead?
Man, when I heard about this, I was like, wow, they are being quite ambitious with this. Like, out of all the animes to adopt, you're adopting, number one, the most popular one.
Right.
Yeah.
And probably the one that requires the most budget.
Yeah. I mean, water and crazy powers.
There's a lot of
CG in this show.
There's going to be lots of CGI. They're going to be shooting on water, which is super expensive.
Yeah.
And no matter what the production is, if you're shooting on water, it's a lot of money.
Right.
So to turn this one into a TV show is, like I said, ambitious. And
yeah, for sure.
I am not really sure. I know it's been announced, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen.
I'm skeptical that this will come out, that it will be on a TV network. I do not buy it. They announced the Cowboy Bebop. This is the same production company doing the live-action Cowboy Bebop. I'm assuming Cowboy Bebop's going to come out first.
I would think so.
That's a failure. I find it hard to believe that One Piece is going to come out.
Now, I could see Cowboy Bebop easily as, like as an HBO or Showtime.
Oh, yeah.
Miniseries.
I think it would make a great show
on
one of those hired, paid networks.
But for me, this is just really ambitious, and also probably 5, maybe 6 years down the line.
Oh,
yeah. This is,
far off.
This will probably go quiet for quite a bit before we hear anything else about this.
Mm-hmm. I do have to ask, though, Jesse, as a fan who's watched over 700 episodes, I mean, you've watched them all.
I've watched them all, yeah.
What is it that you're hoping to see, or do you want them to stay just like the show? What do you want from this?
It's hard for me. I love One Piece. I've been watching for the last couple of years. I caught up fairly quickly. Mm-hmm. Too quickly, one may say. I understand that this is not going to be the same show. This is not going to be the same experience. They're probably going to be hour-long episodes, which is kind of like the trend in TV, in American TV now, especially with live-action drama and action shows. But there's themes and there's things that happen in One Piece that they could definitely explore, and I'm curious to see how far they go, how fast they go through this series. They have plenty of source material to get through. Mm-hmm. They're really. I'm just curious. I don't know what to expect. Yeah. And that's why partially why I'm so excited for it. Mm-hmm. Now, Kaeli, I want to ask you. You're a huge fan of The Walking Dead. Yeah. Walking Dead is based off of a comic. Mm-hmm. How do you think? Do you think that this could compare to The Walking Dead in the way that they maybe structure the television series in comparison to the comic, where the same things happen, but maybe to different people, different characters, exploring different things, but the same main story beats?
I think that's definitely going to happen, actually, because there's so much that One Piece goes out and does that is almost impossible to put in a show like this.
Right.
Especially with real actors. I think there's no way that they could do things exactly the same.
Right.
But in the same token, I think they, like you said, they can follow the same storyline and get to the same points, but through different means.
Yeah.
So, and I'm also kind of expecting it to be actually a little grittier, like The Walking Dead is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as clean and bright as the anime is.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they translate the anime goofiness and weirdness to an American audience, which, let's face it, maybe one of the reasons why not as many people watch anime in the States as, these companies would hope, is because shows like One Piece are crazy weird and they're goofy and characters look dumb. You know what I mean? And they're giants and short. Sorry, Jeff, go ahead.
Well, these American production companies, when they try to do a live action anime or video game adaptation, they have a lot of trouble translating the Japanese artwork into a live action space. Mm-hmm. So this one is definitely going to be a huge challenge for them to overcome.
Oh yeah, with that.
That actually raises a point too. Just thinking about it, we've got Death Note coming to Netflix this month.
Right, and it's gotten a lot of heat. Sorry.
It has, and I actually love the anime. I think it is one of the best ones I've ever watched. I think it's amazing. But I mean, of course, I haven't watched it yet. But just along the trailer lines, I actually don't like the way they've set it up. They've made it more American, and I don't really like it like that. Right. So I really kind of hope that doesn't happen in One Piece, because I may not be as big of a fan as you are, but I really do enjoy the show.
Right. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. A lot of, things that originate in Japan, whether they're manga or anime, usually both, when they are translated into a live-action form, such as Ghost in the Shell, this new Death Note, they get a lot of heat with, should they cast Asian actors, But, these companies, they don't believe an Asian lead will succeed in America. And I think with One Piece, you have such a diverse and crazy main cast of characters that aren't all introduced in the first season. It could take them years to get the whole full cast really in shape. Yeah. There are characters that will only be voice, that will not have any, they will just be CG.
Yes.
And I'm curious to see who they will cast as these characters, if it ever even gets that far. Other than that, I think it's crazy that they've got this ambition here. And it sounds like, there's a couple of quotes you can read online from the producer, and he says that he's been a fan of One Piece for 20 years. And I can't be any happier that somebody can go out there and be like, I've been reading this for a long time, and I think I can make it into an American TV show. And I'm curious to see where they go with it. What do you guys have any other last thoughts on this?
I mean, along with just translating the visuals, it's also translating the culture.
Yeah, exactly.
And One Piece has a lot of references to American pop culture, but it's through a very Japanese lens. So I wonder how they're going to approach that aspect of the show.
Yeah, there are characters in the show, main villains that are, their designs are based off of famous American pop culture idols, whether it's Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura, or wrestlers, or Michael Jackson. There's lots of that kind of stuff, and you're right, I think will they just cut that out entirely, or will they keep it all in? But maybe.
On the same token, too, aside from just basing people off of American actors and role models, I think you've also got a big selection of people who are based on Japanese culture.
Right, of course.
So that's something that I wonder if they're going to use, because who knows if Americans will even get it at all.
I mean, there's references in the One Piece anime, excuse me, before you go on, that I don't even get, because I'm not Japanese.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm interested in where it's going to be shown. Really.
What channel, you mean?
Yeah, what channel or possibly streaming. I don't see this being like hitting an HBO,
not this
Showtime's demographic.
No.
Do you think it could be like a Crunchyroll exclusive? How Netflix kind of started
I think it's more likely, maybe not a Crunchyroll, but
I don't think it would be
a bigger streamer like Netflix and Amazon Prime that could afford something like this. Right. And that way, Netflix also has a much more worldwide demographic.
Right.
They're all over the globe. Whereas if you did like a CBS or MTV,
I think the only actual, maybe MTV, because they did Shannara. They did, but I don't know if that was very, very successful. I can see the CW, because they already have these other superhero shows, but I don't want it to be CW.
Yeah, CW has always been a letdown. Unfortunately.
I don't know, if maybe with a different
I feel like if it's going to be on one of those main American networks, it's going to be much more.
They're going to try to mainstream it.
Whereas I think if they do a Netflix or Amazon Prime route, they can, I think easily cast towards a Japanese market as well.
Not even that. I mean, One Piece is a show that's popular all over the globe. In Europe, China, Japan, and here as well. So I think there's a lot of potential. I'm skeptical. I'm nervous. Don't want them to ruin it.
We don't want another Dragon Ball Evolution.
We don't want another Dragon Ball Evolution. That was really bad. And I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Anyway, so any other last thoughts? Do you have any last thoughts, Kaeli?
No, that's...
No? So are you excited for this?
I think even if it's not the best quality, that's what I'm hoping for, I think I'm still going to love it. It's still One Piece.
It's still One Piece.
I mean, at the end of the day.
Oh, also, one last thing. One Piece has great music. Don't change the music. Just, it's free. You know what I mean? You get it to the point where it's like, it's got to be free. If they're making the show, get me the music, man. The music is great. Get rid of the terrible sound effects that haven't changed since 1993, but music's got to stay. Jake, do you have any last thoughts? Are you overall excited for this?
Yeah, I'm overall excited to see how this pans out, and especially the Cowboy Bebop, and if that's a failure, is that going to affect this show?
Right.
Probably will.
I'm guessing if Cowboy Bebop is a failure, this would probably end up.
So, and then also how the Death Note is going to plan out.
Mm-hmm. I do
Will
hope
that
that's
have
good.
an effect on other stuff? Will that make Netflix more reserved about kind of going after these?
Right. I think Death Note. I think it's a really just an overall discussion here, real quick, about. I find it interesting the state of live action anime in America today.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost in the Shell came out, flopped, got a lot of heat.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlett Johansson, we all know the details on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Death Note's comes out in 2 weeks, I think, 2-3 weeks.
I actually forgot, I'm actually excited.
Comes out in mid-August. I'm curious.
Yeah.
We're going to watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do an episode on it. And
Death,
for sure. Do an ep on that. Anyway, I'm curious to see, the Cure movie's been in the works for years, on and off. Apparently, I think... Sorry,
Japanese have been making live action.
They've been making live action stuff of lots of stuff.
Bad and good. So they also have trouble doing it too.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I mean, with the Akira movie, with on constant limbo, and with, apparently they're making what's his name? I think James Wan is in talks to make Robotech movie, aka Macross, which makes me very excited because that'd be awesome. Mm-hmm. But he's got other movies lined up before that, so that might not even happen. Just wanted to make my piece out. I'm curious to see if it all comes crashing down. Mm-hmm. And it probably will soon.
Is it going to go the route of video game
news where they just give up? Or is this going to be the next superhero movie thing?
So overall, fingers crossed, right?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Well,
fingers crossed. I'm always keeping my
fingers
crossed.
Yeah. Good.
I just want good movies. All right, so those were the two biggest news beats there the last couple of weeks. Are you guys ready to dig into some anime?
Yeah, let's do it.
We've been watching a lot of anime. So the first topic here we're going to discuss is the first 12 episodes of My Hero Academia, which is roughly the first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaeli, you kind of jumped in. You didn't watch all of the first season? Or
actually, I didn't,
much of any of it?
I didn't watch any of the first season.
I kind of watched it without you?
No, I just jumped into it.
I apologize for that. And, but how are you feeling on these first 12 episodes with the tournament arc and the beginning of the internships, or the idea that they're going to the internships?
Okay. So, without watching the first season, I think that I'm already in love with the show.
Awesome.
I think the characters are awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm really in love with the fact that you can have a main character who's really smart and is just really lovable. Right.
He's a very fun, lovable main character.
Yeah.
And you root for him. They do a great job of you making him root for him. You really want to see the kid win.
And you've actually kind of jumped in since you missed season 1. You lucked out that this was a tournament arc, which is a perfect spot.
It is a great time to jump in because that's when most of these characters we didn't learn really much about them until this.
It was only really Midoriya.
That was really the focus of the first season, which is only 13 episodes. It wasn't even large scheme of thing. Weren't even that much.
But with the tournament arc, you get all these characters' backgrounds and backstories, so it's a great introductory.
Yeah, I was really happy with that actually because he didn't really have to explain much to me while I was watching it with him. He just was like, just enjoy. And that's what I did.
It's a show, and we get our fair share of flashbacks.
Sure.
Fair share. But not nearly as bad as One Piece and Naruto and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, Jake, you watched the first season. What do you think of the first half of season 2 so far?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I like this show a lot. I don't love it yet.
Okay.
I think it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
It's playing by the basic beats of a shonen.
Right.
Which is always fun. Kind of mixed up with this kind of American hero type of.
Right. The kind of like they're almost like a Japanese take on the American superhero, the X-Men, stuff like that.
Getting dressed up in outfits and going out and fighting crime type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The tournament arc was good. It didn't. I think maybe my only criticism was it didn't do enough to kind of be different from the other tournament arcs that we've seen in so many of these shonens. The tournament arc played by very similar beats. What I did like about it is how quick it was. It wasn't drawn out.
Right. This whole show runs at incredible pace for
shonens are tend to just drag out.
Think about
fight.
Naruto and the Chunin exams for that. That was forever.
Like 40 episodes, I thought. It was a long time. It was like 10 episodes per fight.
Right.
It was crazy.
Yeah, so with this one, the fights were, 1 episode, maybe 2 at most.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I really enjoyed that quick space. It was different for shonen,
and
I liked it a lot. It seemed like they're kind of experimenting with the season. They're not doing it all year long. They're kind of experimenting with
they're not doing this never-ending nonsense of this is just going to go on forever until it's over. It's 24 episodes a year, I think. Hopefully the first one's 12. I'm hoping now once a year, 24 episodes. I wish other shows would adopt that. Boruto should adopt that. One Piece should adopt that. It makes for a better experience. Jake, do you have any other quick basic thoughts on that?
Those are my basic thoughts. Overall, solid. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. It might be a little bit controversial. But I feel like My Hero Academia is a better superhero tale than anything Marvel and DC are putting out.
Wow, you're going there. You're
I'm going
there.
Worms, I am.
I see where he's coming from, though.
I'm opening that kind of worms, and
go ahead, continue with that. Let's hear it.
I feel like this show has stakes, has character growth, has character development, and I think the choreograph of the fights are more exciting. The way that they represent the world is kind of fun and lighthearted enough where it's just like, oh yeah, this is great.
Sure.
And I think overall, I'm falling in love with all these characters. I'm rooting for them, but they're not all. I don't feel like it's as instant victory as like some of these either other shonens or these other superhero movies. Like, I respect the fact that Midoriya lost in the second round. He didn't win, and then even the person you thought was going to win ended up losing, even though he might have thrown it or he wasn't in his full game. And I just find the show's very exciting. I don't know how else to say it. It clicks with me in all these right places. I find it really enjoyable.
Yeah, I think the whole structure. I mean, if you're comparing, the Japanese, My Hero Academia with American Hero, specifically the comic books.
Right.
Those comic books have such a long history.
Right.
And continuing, still continuing storylines and arcs and plots, and it goes up in different universes.
It's hard to. I find it difficult to jump in.
Yeah, it has gotten really convoluted. With the shonen anime, there's a very linear storyline
progression
built, and whatnot. So I think can be hard to compare.
Right, I feel like a lot of shows,
it's
hard to compare, but what this show is trying to do with a superhero take,
I agree.
What I enjoy. I don't know.
I'm probably enjoying it more than I would a comic book or the Justice League,
right,
or the X-Men series, for sure.
Right.
So, but it's hard to compare. It's such a different.
I will anyway.
Thing. Well, I know because you just did.
I just did. I will. I continue to do it. I'm very excited for the future of the series. Now, guys, what are some of your favorite parts of the first 12 episodes? Whether it be fight scenes, dramatic moments.
Okay. Yeah.
What really was like? Ooh, that's cool. So, yeah.
Okay. What I really like how serious this can be at times.
Right.
I really like the gory, serious, scary anime stuff.
Right.
But this has a very fun and innocent type look to it.
Right.
But then you hear these backstories for some of these characters, and you're like,
Yeah,
that's really deep.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like that too, though, because, like I said, it brings you back to being cheery again.
Right. It's never too dark or depressing for too long. You know, and then even, you know, spoiler alert here, we're probably going to get into spoilers because we got to talk about it. But, you know, the whole Todoroki backstory is very tragic. And also it's you know, dealing with child abuse, being abused as a child, both mentally and physically, being burned by his mother, and then like the mental crap he has to put up with his father, pretty much creating him to be the best superhero, which is really screwed up. And I definitely agree with you. How do you feel about some of these darker tone things?
I love it. I love when, you know, these shows kind of take a risk into a dark territory and I mean, I don't know if it's really a risk, but they're not. They're not afraid to.
Right.
They don't care. This is a kid show or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not afraid.
They're not afraid.
Young adult show. They're not afraid to go in some of those darker places.
Oh yeah.
And that's not just exclusive to this. It's
right.
You see them in all the shonens, really.
Yeah, a lot of shonens will definitely delve deep in that kind of thing.
This definitely gives me a lot of feeling for the characters too. What they've chosen to highlight.
Right.
I think too. It's I don't know. It makes you really feel for them, and even though, let's say, like Todoroki, you may not want him to win initially in those battles.
Right.
Hearing that, you're like, you know what? I think I do want him to win.
You know, and that's the thing. Like you're like, Midori is the main character, but like, he's not the only main character, and it's something that tons of shows do. You know, this isn't new. You know, this is this whole series is starting in a post Naruto, post One Piece, post Bleach world. You know, where kind of like how those shows kind of came out after Dragon Ball, and were like kind of inspired by Dragon Ball. You can kind of tell that like, oh no, this is a show being made by a fan of those. Yes. And he's pushing it in these directions.
Definitely.
And I find it really exciting to see other future of shonen, but that's for another discussion.
Yeah, it's got a lot to work. It's got a lot to look back at.
Yes.
You know, it's got a lot of good examples to take from. And
what to do, what not to do.
And this show is doing it really well. Just just as good so far, and has just as much potential.
Right.
For a really compelling story.
Right. And even though you kind of know,
the beats,
but it's a worthwhile show.
Yeah, it still feels fresh, even if it is.
It does
more
feel
of the
fresh,
same
even though it's kind of more of the same shonen. Naruto is very. I feel like it's very Naruto-esque.
Yes.
With the kind of like striving to be the best,
and Midoriya kind of talking jutsu, Todoroki.
Yeah, he did talking jutsu Todoroki
a little
bit, but it wasn't quite as bad, and I never had a big problem with that. So a lot of people didn't like.
Oh, I didn't. That wasn't a criticism. That was.
Yeah.
I was just pointing that out.
But that
as another
right
cliche of the genre.
And I really like that whole moment when he is like kind of. He sees Todoroki's struggle. He sees, from a distance before the battle. Hey, he has his fire side. He doesn't use it, and the way he fights for the respect of Todoroki in that battle is, to me, what is so intriguing about it. How he says, like, we're all giving our all here, and you're only using half of what you can do. Like, show me respect. Right. And like when he was going through that whole thing, and his arms were messed up because he can't control his powers. Another common trope. The way it gives off this emotion, like it's my favorite thing. One of my favorite things about anime is how they can show emotion and how these cartoon characters can feel so real. And like there's a reason behind everything they do. I feel like, especially in this show, they're all doing something that, like, okay, yeah, just explain why they do it. We know why Todoroki doesn't use his, fire powers because he hates his dad.
Yeah, like it seems like each character has their own reason for doing things.
Right,
and they all have the same goal, but each reason is believable.
Right.
It's not just like, oh, I just want to win because I just want to win. Just want to be popular.
Right,
like they're actually like real reasons.
Yeah. And I want to bring something else because Kaeli brought up about Deku's character. I'm going to say Deku because I can't say.
Yeah. Either or is fine.
About Deku's character, and this is kind of where this show, I think, diverts itself from some of the other shonen cliches, is that Deku's an awesome. He's a smart character, and that's
right. He's smart. Yeah.
He's not like. He's not goofy.
Like Goku or Naruto.
He's not dumb.
Or Luffy.
He's not portrayed as this dumb guy, or he's not reckless either.
Yeah.
He's very smart.
He's smart.
He's very
analytical.
Approaches
analytical. That's where I was.
Yes, he's very analytical, and that's kind of separates him from Goku.
And it feels good, doesn't it?
Right,
watching somebody be smart, it makes you feel good about it. Like you're not like on repeat with all these other shonen.
Yeah,
right. It's a refreshing take on like, he believes these same things of like I gotta work harder and I believe in my friends. I'm gonna do all this, but he's smart in the process. He he didn't always have a quirk, so he's in the background, kind of being like how can I do this? How can I do this? He wanted to be a superhero and tried to be a superhero as a normal person, and now that he has powers, he's taking everything that he learned before and now using it, like you said, in a very analytical, very smart way.
Yeah, watching other anime, you kind of think to yourself, oh, why is the main character being so dumb
so
or
dumb.
reckless? You're just like wanted to smack yourself in the forehead.
Right.
But watching him, I kind of feel like we're on a same challenged level with trying to figure out what he should do next.
Right.
You're thinking while he's thinking, you know, what is he going to do next? We don't know.
No, yeah, for sure. It's really, really interesting. Now, before we move on to Attack on Titan, there's other stuff I want to get through with My Hero. And Jake, I was curious to see, in your standpoint, like, where do you think the animation and the fight choreography, the fight scenes, just kind of stand up among other, action series?
I think it's really good.
Yeah.
And I think what helps that is the 24 episode seasons allows them to really put in the quality that is needed for the character designs and those animations. I like how when it gets serious, the line art becomes much more harsher, much more expressionistic, which is really cool.
Right.
And it does a really good job of doing that. On top of that, they have amazing soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack is
this kind of like awesome rocking, this like rock out,
high energy
music. So the production quality here is really good.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, Kaeli, where do you think it ranks? I mean, you watch a lot of shonen shows and other action series. Are you enjoying the animation just as much as me, Jake?
Yeah, I think as far as the animation goes, I think it's very smooth. Everything you see flows so well, where some shows kind of feel a little choppy sometimes, or like they have less detail to them.
Yeah.
But this feels like it's deep and it's got those bold lines, and it still flows so smoothly that it just is really appeasing to my eye. I don't know. I love it a lot.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's definitely. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's being produced by Bones, who is, one of my favorite anime production companies. I think I'm the only one who even knows
I don't know what
the names of anime production companies here. I am that guy.
Yeah.
But they've made some beautifully animated stuff. Some of my favorite movies, some of my favorite shows, and they just are just pushing the boundaries again with this, with production value and with music and the animation. You guys are right. It flows so good. And then kind of like some of my favorite parts are like, there's a couple different Todoroki fighting scenes, and the way he just kind of slides on the ice, and the way his hair kind of flows in the back, and every little part of him is being meticulously animated to make this super fluid, awesome little sequence of events where he's just, doing such a good job of showing speed, which I think some animated things might not do so great, or even like live action stuff, and just doing a great job of like really being like, this guy's sliding through really fast, and just the fight scenes. The one thing I wish there were a little bit more, I know probably not going to happen, this doesn't seem like the show for it, but some more hand-to-hand combat would be really nice, just because I want to witness it, you know what I mean, in some of this. And that kind of leads into one of my main criticisms so far, is like, even though, Jake, you were like, oh, it's going at a super high speed, the pace of the show is really fast, sometimes I wish it kind of slowed down just a little bit. I could have really gone for a fight scene between the steel guy, the guy who like turns his body to steel, and the guy who just makes his skin hard. Like, I feel like they kind of like went through some of these battles really quick. Do you guys have... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'll say they have good personalities for that, too,
right.
that you could really focus on it for a whole episode.
Right.
Because they are so similar, but at the same time, they're just hilarious to watch together.
Yeah, they were playing on the fact that they were like, they had the same power, essentially, but the same personalities.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any criticisms of the show? Something you think that they could improve on?
I think some of the character designs are...
Yeah,
a little out there.
They're crazy looking.
Which
they're fucking wild.
They're side characters, so it's not a huge distraction, but it does take me out of the experience a little bit when I see that guy with the giant tail.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
He's got an eyeball on that tail too, and I was like, what is he doing with that eyeball?
And the guy with like the wing arm thingy.
Yeah.
So some of the character designs here are really weird.
Yeah, without a doubt. And they remind me, and you see if you're right, they remind me a lot of Ultimate Muscle characters.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, man, you could tell that he liked Ultimate Muscle because there's literally a character that is just a guy from Ultimate Muscle in the class. He's just like with the big lips.
Yeah.
And he's wearing, the the wrestling gear, whatever. Yeah, I know Kaeli's never seen Ultimate Muscle, from what I understand, but it was a wacky, weird show. It was really weird. I think there was a guy with a toilet on his head in that show. Anyway,
I'm gonna go watch this tonight.
Yeah,
it was one of those crazy shows, and now that you bring it up, it reminds me of some of those character designs.
Yeah.
Look like they could be from Ultimate Muscle.
Now, do you have any criticism of the show? Is something that
not yet, not so far. I mean,
okay.
Like I said, I didn't watch the first season, so I've only seen a little bit of this, and I'm just enjoying it. I'm really just kind of loving it. I want to see more of it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's really high energy. It's a really fun show.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. All right. Do you guys have any other final thoughts before we move on?
No, I'm ready.
You guys ready for the big one?
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's do it. Let's dig in.
Guys, it's Attack on Titan Season 2. It happened. Finally.
4 years later.
4 years later.
It's been a long time.
Been a long time. Finally here. Jake, I'm going to start with you. Quick first impressions. What do you think? Go.
I loved it. And this is coming from somebody who wasn't crazy, as you know. Wasn't crazy about season 1. I wasn't buying wasn't buying all the hype that it was getting, especially the first half of season 1, the second half of season 2. The second half of season 1 started to win me over a little bit.
Right.
But at the end of season 1, I was still a little like.
You had caught up right before season 2 started, right?
Yes.
So you didn't have to wait like us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't have to wait. So
that
was nice. So going into season 2, I was like, all right, the end of season 1 got better. So let's dig into season 2 now, and season 2 just kept on building on that ending of season 1 for me. And
it was nonstop.
I'm on the hype train now after this, so definitely enjoyed it.
All right, Kelly, what are your first? I think I know, but what are your first impressions?
First impressions. I was shocked. I was excited. I love it so much. I love it more than the first season, as Jake does. And I need more of it right now. I don't want to wait 4 more years.
Well, luckily it is coming out in 2018. Season 3 is supposedly
2018.
Fingers crossed.
They just said 2018.
Yep.
I'm assuming spring. A year after the first one, so the second season. Hopefully, this is a continuous flow of this stuff, because they got a lot of space. I mean, the manga comes out once a month, but manga's been out for like 10 years or something.
Well, they've had 4 years.
Oh, is it really?
I'm thinking it's probably been around for a couple of years before the first season came out.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years probably.
Wow.
And then
4 or 5 years of
waiting. So
season
I'm
2.
guessing I don't know exactly when it's come out, but
okay.
Yeah, I completely agree with the both of you. Where Attack on Titan Season 2 upped the ante in every single way.
Yes.
It brought the stakes were higher. It answered questions, but asked way more questions.
I'm so confused.
Still just as confused. We're even more confused now than we were after season 1.
Yeah.
It was bonkers. It was weird. It was beautifully animated.
Yeah.
And it was guys, this show was nonstop.
Way faster.
Super fast paced. There's a lot of people made criticisms of the first season. It was dragged down a little bit. This was 13 episodes of just like true insanity. Almost.
Right. Sometimes through the first season, you're kind of thinking, oh, nothing really happened this episode. Guess we'll wait till next week.
They're still on their horses.
Yeah, exactly. But this time you're like, wait a second. What just happened? And now I have to watch another episode when we're talking about something else? Like, it's just too much.
Yeah. So, just going to throw this out here now just for the listeners and everybody out there, anybody who's watching. Spoiler alert.
Yep.
Spoiler warnings.
We got lots to say.
I wish I could talk a little bit longer without the spoilers, but guys, we're going to have to dig right in. So, Jake, there's multiple twists. There's multiple turns. Story-wise, how are you feeling? What's some of your favorite parts? Just what do you think?
No, the story was very engaging.
Right.
It's definitely throughout the entire season. It was very much of this out of the frying pan into the fire scenario type of thing. And I didn't think it'd keep on doing that. Like you think like, oh, this
slow
is
down.
It. Yeah, you think it's gonna slow down, but oh no, they found themselves in another situation.
Right. Something crazy just happened, and now something crazy is happening again.
Yeah. So for me, the storytelling here is just phenomenal, and that's why anime is so great, and just Japanese storytelling I mean, this isn't exclusive to the anime. It's also in the Japanese cinema.
Yeah, Jay, I was curious. You watch. I try to keep up on some American TV shows. Guys, I'm an anime fan. 90% of what I watch on TV is anime. So, Jake, from your perspective here, as a lover of film and American television, where would you rank Attack on Titan's storytelling with some of the biggest TV shows out right now, such as The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, and some of these other stuff?
Yeah, for me, this is just it's right up there.
Wow. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just animated. That's the only difference of it. And like I was saying, this is not exclusive to anime and Japanese culture. They're just really good storytellers.
Yeah.
They know how to tell a story. They've been doing it for a long time, before cinema and whatnot. So, this is no different. And there were some. Yeah, I was up. I had a lot varying emotional states.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Without a doubt.
Throughout this series. So yeah.
Awesome. Now, Kaeli, it's been a long time since you saw season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 came out. I'm a little bit confused. Lots of stuff happened in this show. What were some of your favorite moments of the series, of season 2?
Okay. I guess the first thing that sticks out in my head is when Mikasa sees Eren in the Armored Titan's hands.
Yes.
That to me struck me. It pierced me. I have nightmares about it. The look in her eyes.
Right.
Did you see that?
It was phenomenally
unbelievable.
drawn. And kind of going on to my point from My Hero Academia, which is that sometimes anime does a really good job of showing expression and showing emotion. And during that moment, when Eren is being captured by Reiner, or AKA the Armored Titan, when she kind of looks through those hands and pierces at the other Titan guy, Bertold or something like that, you're scared as a viewer. You're afraid. Chills. You're like, I don't know if I want to watch this anymore. Yeah. Just by the way she looks at him, and you're like, oh, I kind of feel bad for those guys because they're going to get fucked
psycho.
up.
She looks really crazy. You've never seen her look that crazy, and you feel like something is changing.
Right.
Something's happened.
And that was a common theme throughout the show. These characters being thrown into dire situations.
Yes.
Right. What are these going to? How are these going to? How are these characters changing in these dire situations?
Yeah.
Right. Are their morals changing?
And
are they losing? Yeah. Are they being demoralized through all these situations?
Like Armin, when he was lying to, I forgot, was it when he was in the hand trying to convince him to let Eren go?
And he's like, oh yeah, we'll let you go, you'll be fine, or something like that. He's kind of sweet talk him, and you're like, in the first season, in the beginning of the series, he's kind of introduced as the level-headed, smart, kind of really nice, caring,
passionate,
honest kid,
passionate. And then as the series has gone on, he's become the secret mastermind. You know what I mean? The evil guy behind the shadows.
That's great.
And now he's that's to me that's the end of his arc. He's he's behind the shadows, He was very manipulative during that moment as he's trying to get Eren free to save his friend. And there's so many great things happen, and the way they treat Eren in the show as at first. Mikasa and Armin are you're my best friend. We're childhood friends. We grew up together. And then the way the rest of the, I think the Army Corps, whatever they're called, I don't remember, are now being no, this is it. This kid is all we have in humanity. And the way they're save Eren, save humanity.
Wow.
was really awesome to me.
Yeah. What pressure? What kind of pressure is that to put on people? You know what I mean? Everything depends on this reckless kid. All of humanity depends on this kid who just wants to do whatever he wants and doesn't really. It's he takes everything into consideration, but on his own terms.
Well, it's all very, like I said, he's reckless and he's very emotional and angry all the time,
which is kind of typical of the shonen.
Dumb teenager.
Right, but it's kind of geared up to the max.
Yeah.
That comes off to the later parts of the series. But before we get on to that, Jake, crazy twists. What do you think of the way the twist was given? And a lot of TV shows, it's dun dun dun, in your face, this is the bad guy.
Usually there's a big reveal.
Yeah, a big build
at the end of an episode. Yeah. The big reveal in this one, I thought it was my favorite part of the series.
Yeah.
Of the season so far. and everything about it, like the animation, the art style, the mise en scène.
Yeah.
The place.
Film terms, guys. Film terms.
Guys.
That's why we got this guy. That's why we got this guy.
That's why
film
I'm here,
degree. Right? That's right. That's why you're here.
I got the film outlook here. It's the mise en scène, like the placement, where the camera is and where these characters are in relation to that camera. So the angles during that scene on the bridge and kind of the overcast and the sun piercing through it. I kind of like forgot I was watching the animation. I felt like this is
really happening, right?
Yeah, it's like this is like a live action thing. That's how it was all kind of produced that way. And then for the characters to kind of nonchalantly bring up this
huge thing.
I think we all had the same expression. Like, wait, what did he just say?
We thought it was a mistranslation.
Yes, yeah.
We were like, wait a second.
They screwed up. Let's rewind it. And we paused it, we rewinded it, and they said it again, and we were like, is this?
Yeah, we're like, we're just going to move on. It's not really, that's not happening.
This is, I pretty much, probably all the viewers that they had the same, we all had a universal reaction to this, and it was, did I hear that right?
Yeah.
But how great was it, though?
It was huge.
And then just to watch what transpires next, you're like, that wasn't a mistake. This is really happening.
Yeah, and
it happened so randomly, kind of.
It was just all of a sudden, yeah.
It kind of ends like a little story arc or a little. They just got done fighting a bunch of Titans.
A bunch of
them. And then all of a sudden, this atomic bomb drops on Aaron and whatnot.
Just trying to move my glasses up that I'm not wearing. Anyway, keep going. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that I think that was the best part of the season.
It was really tense, and
the suspense was there. It was beautifully drawn
and the reactions to that too. The reactions to the big atomic bomb. I mean, people, even the characters didn't know how to react.
Yeah, Aaron, we were in the same position as Aaron.
Yeah.
Exactly. What?
Wait, what? No,
what
you're
talking
crazy,
about?
dude.
You're
no,
wrong.
let's go back. No, we're going back to the castle.
Yeah, that's what he did. And that was great when he was just like refused to believe it. And he was like, "Nah, dude, like we're done.
Yeah, you guys are
we're going back home now. Like, come on, no,
picture
Don't be silly,
yourself like Aaron though. Picture all these experiences you've had together and these memories and everything you've gone through.
I loved how
well, now he's your mortal enemy. How do you cope with
that?
How do you process it? Right.
Yeah. And the anime kind of goes into that.
Farther on. Yeah, it definitely does.
Episodes. But going back to that scene, I love Mikasa's reaction. They're kind of so the rest of the troops are down the bridge, and then you have the two Bertold and
Reinhardt
or whatever,
Reiner, something like that.
And Aaron, and then you kind of like Mikasa, like in
she's kind of like she's never like letting Aaron get too far away, so she's kind of like listening. They kind of show a shot where she's kind of like, I don't know, like looking around.
Yeah, she had the side eye.
Side eye, and
she's like, what's going on?
Yeah, and when
very cautious.
Right. So as you were saying, Jake, when she as soon as it's revealed, and Aaron is like, no, let's just go home, and then like Reiner and Berthold or whatever are like, are we gonna do this? They're like having the conversation of like whether or not they're gonna do it or not in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Because you can tell that they're starting to lose it because of the pressure of hiding this from people that they've bonded with.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like, we have to do it. No, we can't do it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do it.
And the whole time we're just confused. We're like, what are you talking? You're not doing that. No.
Yeah,
no.
Aaron is saying the same exact thing too.
Yeah.
He's like,
right.
What do you guys? No, we're going back.
But
and then it all happens, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's just a and from that point on, that's probably like, I think that was episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the series after that was just nonstop, pretty much for the next.
Yep.
There's 6 episodes. It was a little bit slower in the beginning. There's a lot of stuff that we, that.
Well, there were things we had to learn too, though, like with Historia, Krista.
But it was definitely, that moment when Mikasa kind of is like, finds out what's about to happen, and the way she kind of like. Reacts, jumps in, and like slices one of them in half.
Oh man, that was great.
And you're just like, what's happening? Like this is insanity. And then like she's like, get Aaron out of here. Everybody's like, and the other people that were farther down the wall were like, Mikasa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing? And then she was just like, and that's when Reiner becomes the Colossal. He becomes the Iron Titan, the Armor Titan, and then the next episode, which I think is my favorite episode, is when they're fighting. So the Armor Titan becomes Armor Titan. They're trying to steal Eren away because they need to take him back to their home base, which we learn that there's a home base, and that these Titans aren't just random things, and that they are an army of people.
Right. We had just learned about the other girl, who I forget her name, the one who just turned into a Titan.
Right.
And now we know we've got Eren, we've got her, and we've got the other girl, too.
Right, so we have like 4 or 5 people who can turn into Titans. Anne from the first season.
Annie, that's her name.
Annie from the first season. And now the girl that can turn into a Titan.
Right, so we're just rolling into more and more. And then you're also talking about the Titans that were in the village, too. And we find out about that.
We find out that the Titans are no longer just, random, that people, anybody can apparently turn into them.
I always felt like it was 1 step forward, 2 steps back with the show.
Oh,
in terms of, like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what's going on. No, you don't.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Here's 2 more, things.
Questions.
Questions.
Yeah. Going back to that initial fight, though, along the wall, when they first found all this out, I have to say another favorite part of mine is watching Eren's internal debate as he's falling down the wall.
And that's what I was about to get to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I love it when he's just like, having that internal monologue of himself where he's like angry. And it's like you're watching him process his emotion, which I found really interesting, where how he dealt with, like, he's like, the way he expresses his hatred for these 2 people, like, he instantly is like, I'm gonna kill you. And it's not like a lot of times in TV shows and like in life and in anything, people are like, I'm gonna kill you, you jerk.
Yeah, it's more of an expression than a feeling.
But this show did such a great job of making you really feel like, oh no, he's gonna kill them. Like, he is out to kill them, and the way he, like, and, his whole Titan form is like the personification of his anger, is is pretty much a metaphor for his hatred for the Titans, is the fact that he becomes one now.
Yeah, and that inner dialogue happens again when they're in the
forest
as
well. Yeah.
Where he, like, I was scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that,
he didn't have any hands. And
it was fucked up.
Yeah, he didn't have any hands. But I was actually like scared, and made me like not like him as much. As
he almost was like, I think you took this too far, man. Because now you're like, because at the there's a huge awesome fight scene. We're not going to go through this whole the whole beat by beat. Watch the show; it's a great show if you haven't. So later on, the next couple episodes later, they end up retrieving Eren. They're in the forest, and the show kind of starts getting you to sympathize with the bad guys.
Yes.
Especially,
I think it was Bertold, wasn't it, who was getting confused?
No, Reiner.
Oh, Reiner. Okay. I get the name.
He was getting confused. No, that's fine. He was getting confused because he was like going in and out. It was like he had split personalities. Yeah. Where, like, he's been training undercover as a member of the Survey Corps, and his mind is separating his Survey Corps self from his like Titan self, and he goes in and out.
And how can you not sympathize with that?
Yeah,
it's like he loves the humans, but he still has a job to do.
Right.
So,
but it's ingrained in his mind that he can't be one of them. And then the way they show his partner kind of just like sulking, rocking himself back and forth because he's dealing with this too. Yeah. And now that
they have PTSD.
Yeah, they have PTSD, and now that his friend is like, he can't even really talk about it with his friend half the time because his friend is like forgets that he is what he is. Right. And you can just kind of see that despair in his face from when, like, he's just like, he's going crazy. You know what I mean? He's walking back, he's going crazy. And Eren is like, the nerve of you. The nerve of you to be like telling me that you hate Titans when you are the worst one and the causer of all the pain that the people have. And the way he just is screaming at him during that photo sequence
was scary.
And
made me not like him at that.
Right.
At that moment.
Right.
You know what I'd like to talk about?
Sure, go ahead.
I'd like to talk about the religion in this show. I want to talk about the conspiracy theory, the wall, the cult.
The cult.
Let's talk about all that.
Yeah, it's... They add, like Jake said, every question they ask, they're like, here's 2 more. Figure these out now. You know what I mean? And, like, straight in the first episode is when you learn, I think, the first or second episode is when you learn that the church knows what's going on.
Yeah.
You also learn that there's Titans in the walls.
And the church won't talk about it.
The church is like, I know why, but I'm not going to tell you. Ask this person who's in the Survey Corps, who's like a 15, 16-year-old girl.
You know what's funny about that,
It's just crazy.
What's funny about that, do you remember in Season 1 when the Titans first break through Wall Rose, I think it is?
Right.
You see Titans running through the village, and you see the priest or preacher, whoever he is, the guy. Right. He's like talking about the Bible to a Titan. Do you guys remember that?
I think I do remember that.
Yeah, and I thought, I don't know, when they started getting more into this whole religious aspect. You don't remember that? Yeah, it's like the Titan's about to get him. And I think it even picks him up, and one of the characters kills the Titan, and he falls. But I remember him like...
the same preacher?
Same preacher.
Oh, I gotta go back now.
Yeah. No, I think about that a lot when I see this, because I'm wondering, there's more to it, and I wonder what that's all about. I want to listen to what he says again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really liking this, like, religious aspect. It hasn't really delved too deep into it.
It's just like hinting at it.
It's hinting at it. It's dancing around this kind of religious theme going on. And I think, like, one of the things I really liked about the show was the end credits.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Every time I analyzed that, I was like, okay, maybe this is what's happening.
which had like a very like medieval monastery tablet look to it, which I think is like really...
almost kind of like implying that there is something way more hidden over.
And you know, so like with the cult thing, and with the Titan whose name I can't remember, the girl.
Yeah, the girl.
Okay. So what we know is that was in the past, right?
That was 100 years ago.
Okay. So do you think that was the beginning of this religion that they now focus on?
It could be.
Do you think she's, what kind of started it?
Because I don't know.
They did push her off that wall, right? And she
there was another wall, or the wall.
Maybe it's the same wall. Maybe it's the same village type thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting, the implied stuff. I'm really curious to see when we learn about this stuff. I mean, we learn about the Armor Titan and the Colossal Titan way faster than I expected. I was like, we'll never find out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it'll be hundreds of episodes later.
Yeah.
So, for all we know, we're going to find out next season more about this church stuff. There's still the key that Aaron has from his dad, and the chest in his basement, which supposedly has answers to questions. And I think that's going to be one of the next couple of arcs, is them starting to try to get there.
With that key, we found out that Aaron's dad was a scientist, didn't we?
I believe
he was a scientist of some sort.
And he disappeared. He left.
He left on a boat.
Oh, is that okay? So he didn't die or anything, from what we know.
No, from what we know, he's not dead.
Okay.
But we don't really know for a fact.
Yeah, I wonder if that's ever gonna come back, talking about his dad being a scientist. If maybe people turn to Titans.
It'll
seems like a key element of that first episode.
Right. Now, a couple of brief things here. We're running short on time, so I just want to kind of get to the end here.
Sure.
The final revelation of the series. Earlier in the series, we didn't discuss it quite much, but the Beast Titan is introduced, and we learn that he can control Titans. At the end of the last episode, right before being overrun by Titans with Mikasa, Aaron is able to control the Titans.
How cool is that?
I mean, it was a really emotional moment. It was really cool. And what do you? And it was like that was it. That was the last episode, I think.
Yeah.
And we're just like, it just kind of ends you with, you're just like, I don't know why.
Things were looking pretty dire.
They were
towards the end of the episode, like, how are they going to get out of this one? And then Aaron runs into the Titan that killed his mother.
Right, which was awesome. Totally awesome.
And I guess that kind of just
spurred, and as with this show, it's all very like, things come from his anger.
It's very emotional.
And it's almost like the more he hates Titans, the more powerful he becomes as a Titan, which is kind of an interesting little thing there of like his growth as a Titan and as somebody who controls Titans kind of revolves around his hatred and anger towards them. But this.
So he was able to control the Titans.
Right, and he told them to stop, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
No, he ordered the Titans to attack the one Titan, right? Or one of the Titans.
Not at first. The first thing he did on accident, what was it? Was that it?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
I think he might have yelled stop and then was like, hey, this is working. Let's go kill that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he ordered all the Titans to kill or attack the Colossal. Or not the Colossal, the Armored.
Even they were freaked out too. They're like,
whoa, yeah.
Yeah, and they're Titans themselves, and they didn't even realize he could do. Well, they said something like, "Oh, he can do that too." Didn't they say that? Yeah.
I don't know.
So they know something.
But yeah, that was Attack on Titan. Jake, quick final thoughts. Go.
Love the season. Love season 2. Really surprised by how much they're challenging these characters. And really like making them not so likable.
Right.
In some aspects.
Right. Not all
and
time.
really changing their characters, and their morals are really being tested.
Yeah.
That I think was the biggest surprise.
Yeah.
For the show for me.
All right, and Kaeli, what are your final thoughts on Attack on Titan?
I love the surprises.
Yeah.
I love the shock factor that kind of comes with watching this show. And I think it's a beautifully drawn show.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. It's a great show. It was a great season. I'm really excited for 2018, for Season 3. I can't even imagine what could happen. We didn't really talk about it, but the animation was fantastic. The music was fantastic. All top-of-the-line stuff.
The 3D animation?
The 3D was...
I know you're not a fan. I like it.
Not
I actually think it kind of adds
yeah.
another layer. Kind of makes it a little bit more
I will say
visceral.
that the Colossal Titan, when he was 3D, I've seen way worse CG 3D anime in anime before.
I feel like it's integrated.
It didn't look as... something that... It's going to come a long way.
Yeah.
When it first... it didn't look quite as jarring and out of place, but I still would prefer it all to be consistently in 2D. But yeah, the color palette, the show, the animation, the story, it's all there.
Yeah.
It's all there. It's the best anime I think you could probably be watching right now. I think it's going to be big in America soon. I think once it's on Netflix,
it's probably going to blow up again.
The first season was pretty popular when it came out on Netflix, and I think
this was like the biggest anime
in America in a long time.
Yeah.
So I think season 2, when that finally plops down, I think people are going to hop on there. It's going to get even bigger.
At the conventions we've been to, you could already tell people were really into it.
That first 2-3 years especially, when it was huge.
Yeah, everybody cosplaying it and whatnot.
Yeah.
And people are still doing it. So anyway, guys, that was our show. First episode done.
Guys, first episode done. Let's go. High fives around here.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, Jake, where can they find you?
You can find me at Twitter at SarosTV, and also, guys, the YouTube channel where there's going to be a video of this, or if you're on the YouTube channel, there's also a podcast of this on iTunes.
Right. Hopefully.
Called Fresh Rolled Anime.
Fresh Rolled Anime. Check us out,
guys. Yeah, YouTube SarosTV.
Yeah,
so you can find us in some video content.
All right, Kaeli, where can they find you?
Well, I made a Twitter just for this.
Oh, there we go.
So you can find me at The Walking Kaeli on Twitter.
Awesome. Nice. And so guys, you can find me at Jbird523 on Twitter. Also, the Fresh Rolled Anime Twitter account is at Rolled Anime. If you guys like the show, leave a comment. Let us know what do you guys think of My Hero and Attack on Titan or the One Piece news. There's a lot of stuff I have planned for this show. I'm really excited. I want movies of the month that we could watch, because I don't think a lot of podcasts and anime stuff really talk about movies all that much. They're a lot of great ones. So there's stuff like that.
For that.
Yeah. And if you guys, like I said, like it, rate us on iTunes. Do all that stuff. If you got questions, you have anything you want us to try, you want us to watch an anime.
Thanks for watching Magica
Madoka Magica, probably watch
from a viewer
someday from a viewer from Sardos TV.
Devoted Sardos TV fan.
Yeah. And let us know what you think. All right, guys. Peace out.
See ya.
Keep fresh. Keep watching anime.
Yeah, you're right. I probably should save room for some dessert.